Okay, class, part 2 of this process is selecting the right size socket. Again, I want to use metric. That right there is a 13 millimeter. Okay, you can see that 13 millimeter, and that is clearly too small. Also, I'm going to need some rags for this. I'm going to get some fresh rags that are just back from the laundry service. Going to get about 3 of these. And again, I'm continuing to look at my drain plug size. That's a 16 millimeter, 3/8 drive, 16 millimeter opening, and that doesn't fit. Let me try a 17. Next size up, nope. I'm going to try an 18. That fits. I had to kind of turn it a little bit, but that fits perfectly. Okay, it's a little bit weird on there, but it does fit. I could try a standard size, which would be that one. Nope. Now that one is an 11/16. You guys see that? 11/16 right there. This is a 3/4 inch right there, standard 3/4, and that works too. I could use either of those, but I'm kind of a stickler for metric on Japanese cars. This drain plug looks a little bit damaged, so I'm just going to tap that on there. It'll go on. It does go on there. I don't love this drain plug, but okay, so I'm going to go with that. Now I could use this ratchet right here. I could also use a wrench, but you see the wrenches are 12 point and the sockets are 6 point. So I like to be the safest and securest, so I'm going to use the 6 point in this case. All right, now for this, my hands could get wet from this drain plug, so I'm going to use these disposable chemical protecting gloves. These are for like scratches and burns, protecting your hands from scratches, scrapes, and burns. These will protect my hands from chemicals. I've got eye protection on, and I'm going to loosen it a little bit with this breaker bar. I could use a ratchet. There's the on-off switch on the back, okay, ratchet. But this could be kind of tight, so I'm going to use the breaker bar. Oop. Turning it lefty-loosey, which is counterclockwise, or to the left. I'm going to break the torque on it to start, which means I'm going to come over here. I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm not going to need it right yet. And I'm going to pull 2 hands with my leg back, my legs apart like this, and pull, and that's it. Okay, now that is stuck on there. I'm going to have to get that off there in a couple minutes. Now this is adjustable, okay? So this is adjustable height with this locking mechanism right there, okay? So I'm going to raise it up to about there. This is where you can really make a big mess if you're not careful, okay? So I'm going to pull or turn now. You notice that it didn't start leaking. Just because I broke the torque on it doesn't mean that it's leaking. Now I can position this. I got to get it up high because it's going to flow out a lot. And watch this trick. Look at that. Okay, I didn't get any on my hand because I pulled it out of the way. And that's an advanced trick. That takes you a while to learn. There's the old oil draining in there. How do I know when to replace it? I look in the owner's manual, or I wait for the maintenance reminder light or the engine oil life indicator to come on. If it's 0 or 5%, it's time to change the oil. Or if the maintenance reminder light comes on, it usually means that it needs an oil service. So there's the rest of the oil coming out. It's nice and warm because I warmed the engine up, and that will drip for a while. I'm going to take my rag here. I'm going to rag off the drain plug. Remember, I still have these chemical gloves on. Rag off the drain plug, look at the threads, At this point, I can drop this down a little bit because it's not flowing out that much. Over here, we have the drain plug gasket. Okay, it looks like a washer, and it is to a certain extent, but it also prevents leaking. It prevents the oil from leaking out when it's not supposed to. It's called a crush washer as well, or a drain plug gasket. And you can reuse these, but it's better to replace them, and so I'm gonna put a new one of those on. What you don't wanna do is go on there without any gasket at all, okay? So we're gonna let that continue to drip. You can see the oil pan threads. Now this is the transmission. You don't wanna drain the wrong oil. So this is the transmission. If we removed that drain plug, that would be really bad because that's the wrong oil that we're draining. We're draining the engine oil, which is right here. So make sure you drain the right component. A little bit of oil leakage here, seepage, not too bad. There's the catalytic converter. A resonator, which controls noise, a muffler, which controls noise, and the catalytic converter, which controls pollution from the engine. So we're gonna let that continue to drip. At this point, we need to get ready to put the drain plug back in. And we also need to start figuring out where the oil filter is because we're going to drain that as well. Let's see how we're doing on time. We've got a couple more minutes in this video. So let's go get a drain plug gasket for this drain plug. So we keep our funnel supply over here. Funnels, we keep all of our waste fluids and waste solids as well over here. Used antifreeze, waste used oil, oily debris, used brake fluid, and crushed, punctured, drained oil filters. So this is our supply of engine drain plug gaskets. And I would usually be the one to help you figure out which size and type of gasket to use until you kind of get more experience. And this is the old one. And I like these aluminum and copper gaskets. This copper one's too small. This aluminum one's perfect. This will go in the trash eventually. And this thing would drain all night and all day, but it would just be a really slow drip. You never get all the oil out, and you don't have to. We'll basically stop there, and now we can thread this in by hand. Always start everything by hand. That way you know it's not going in crooked. Okay, put that in there by hand. And now we need to, that is kind of a weird gasket. I wonder why that doesn't work so well, but that's fine. All right, so now we're going to torque this drain plug. Now, we have Chromebooks over there, and I would show you how to look up the drain plug torque spec, and eventually you'll learn how to use a torque wrench as well. But I know the torque spec on this is 20 foot-pounds. So I'm going to set this to 20 foot-pounds, which is right there. And now this is kind of in my way, actually, because it's not dripping anymore. And now I'm going to put this 3/8 drive size into that 3/8 drive 18 millimeter socket. Make sure that is in the on position, which it is, and tighten. And this is where I got to be really sensitive, delicate. That's it. Right there. That's the click. You can see up here. That's it. Pull that off. Reset this to minimum, which in this case is 20. So I'm just going to leave it where it is because 20 is the minimum. Take that off. Those are my old sockets there.